The Duke, ridden by Bob Champion. 2, Captain John, Jeff Pierce. 3, Corby Air, Brown Smart. 5, Don't Touch, Steve Smith-Eccles. 6, Easter Eel, John Frankham. 7, Lawrence Rambler, Philip Blacker. 8, Leslie Ann, Colin Brown. 9, Lusker, Tommy Finn. 10, Midnight Love, Chris Grant. 11, Oaklawn, Jerry Gracie. 13, Old Bean, Alan Brown. 14, Pilot Officer, Mr. Eddie Woods. 15, Quarry Stone, Tommy McGibbon. 17, Special Cargo, Bill Smith. 18, Star Member, Ted Waite. 19, Two Swallows, Hewell Davis. And 20, Wayward Lad, written by Tommy Carmody. And the first we see is the gamble of the race, Easter Eel, as we rejoin Richard Pittman.
Easter Eel, what an impressive novice he's been. And as I've said before, he's quite old to be a novice. He's by way the oldest in this race. He's 10, and that is because he's had a lot of training troubles. But great credit to Jill Brazier, whose husband owns Shannon Bridge and Rolls Rambler, those 2 great hunter chases, because she looked after this one and nursed him back to health. But he's been very, very impressive in his races. As you saw on the film that we've just shown you, John Frankham was looking round after the last to see how much he had to do on this horse. Because, of course, once a horse has had leg trouble, you want to be as easy on them as possible, because you never quite know when it may reoccur. But a very exciting horse. He showed a little bit of his temperament at the start at Ascot last time, when he didn't line up for a little bit, but he's by Greg Lack's nephew, who gets some very good jumpers, some very good show jumpers as well, but they're all a little bit hot. And I've seen the Fred Winter's Head lad riding this one out at home, and he's very, very lively indeed. But Brian Delaney, Winter's Head man, quite able, even though he's getting on in years now. Number 20 is Wayward Lad. Wayward Lad, a very exciting ride, and Tommy Carmody getting unseated last time, very unfortunate, because he'd got this horse really jumping well. Before, we've seen this horse jumping low and fast, but at Haydock Park last time, Tommy had settled him in behind Little Owl, and he was really giving the fences some distance. He was jumping better than I've ever seen him, and I think that this is a horse that's going to be around for many, many years, regardless of what happens today. And interesting to see that his tail is plaited there. Now, you don't often see that at a race meeting, but that certainly turned out very, very well indeed. But then he comes from a good family who've had a great backing in horsemanship. That's the Dickinsons. Tony Dickinson, who's now retired or given the reins to Michael, brought up dealing with horses when he was young, and of course a little bit of shine and the plaited can put a tenner on a horse, and when you're trying to sell one, of course that can mean a lot. 19 is the grey there, Two Swallows, and again a form of very useful staying hurdler. When he was put to fences, he didn't really like it last season, but this season, well, he's improved out of all recognition. Good temperament, and he certainly stays and goes through the ground. I think that he might just be a little bit closer to Easter Eel today. He was a bit disappointing last time out, but that was over 2.5 miles. It wasn't far enough for him at Newbury, and though he was beaten quite a way, I think you'll see a different horse today here at Cheltenham in this ground over this trip. It takes a bit of getting for novices, 3 miles around Cheltenham. This race used to be a little bit farther than that, but they've reduced it back to 3 miles now, and it's a good indication of the future Gold Cup contenders. Number 1 there is another Duke, the second of those 2 horses, and this one owned by W.L. Pilkington, trained by Josh Gifford and ridden by Bob Champion. All the horses have the same weight in this race. It's 11 stone 4, and there is Josh leading another Duke round, just giving Bob Champion his final thoughts, or perhaps just trying to get out of the way, because you've got a lot of friends when you're here at Cheltenham, and you can't get on with the business when you're training them. But anyway, another Duke has won his last 2 starts and been quite impressive too, but I don't know if the form quite measures up to that of Easter Eel, Wayward Lad and Two Swallows. But anyway, he couldn't do more than win his last 2, one of which was at Kempton, when he beat Welcome Handshake by 25 lengths. But a very decent horse, sure to win a lot more races, and won't disgrace himself. That's another Duke. Number 3 is Corby Air. trained by my former wife and ridden by Brian Smart. Easter Eel is 7-4 favourite, Wayward Lad 5-2, 10-1 bar. And Corby Air, a very useful horse, a handsome horse, and another one as dramatist, if you're watching with us, turned out and presented by Charles Ratcliffe as a young horse. And this horse has had quite a busy season, but he's been eased off of late, and as you can see, very full of himself. Corby Air did in fact unseat his rider on one occasion, but he has won 4 times this season and shown himself to be a very able staying horse. Been carrying a bit of weight in handicaps, which is always a very hard thing to do. But he's got the make and shape of a chaser, and he likes to be up with the leaders all the way, making his stamina tell. That's Corby Air, number 3. So they're leaving the paddock. That is another Duke and Bob champion. Bob looking very serious, but then this is a serious business. There's 19,000 to the winner. Then we're followed by Captain John. Fiddler Goodwill trains this one for Michael Muskos. Jeff Pearce in the saddle. No mug this one at all. Then we have Corby Air with that big white face and the white breast girth. You ought to be able to spot him. Then Don't Touch. Steve Smith-Eccles in the saddle here. Then John Frankham in the cross belts. Easter Eel very calm today. He can get very much on his toes. John smiling at someone in the crowd there. Then after him we have Lawrence Rambler, blinkered. He ran at the meeting last year. Then behind him, Leslie Ann. Coming out in the cross belts, Lusker. This one coming from Ireland, got some good form. Didn't have a lot of weight to carry last time, though. Then Midnight Love. Midnight Love number 10 from Dennis Smith's yard. Then we have Oak Lawn, Old Bean, and Pilot Officer. Then the Stripes of Quarry Stone, former very good hurdler in Ireland. Then in Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother's colours, Special Cargo, Bill Smith in the saddle. Then we have Star Member, in the colours of Bob Hawker, who won this race last year. Then the Grade, 2 Swallows, and Wayward Lad, last but definitely not least. And there is Monica Dickinson trailing the horse out. That's Michael's mother. She has a lot to do with the training. She just seems to be going a bit short there in that sandy ground. Perhaps she wants it a bit firmer. The horse is just cantering up. That is 7, Lawrence Rambler, equipped with blinkers for the very first time. And remember that blinkers certainly have their greatest effect when equipped for the first time. Well, Lawrence Rambler, bought for Simon Tyndall by Stan Mellor from John Crowley. Easter Eel is 2-1 favourite. Wayward Lad 5-2, 10-1 bar those two. But certainly don't count the grey out of it, because he's not done with yet. We're just at the top of the course now, ready to turn round. Easter Eel, another Duke turning, and we have a show betting for you.
2-1 Easter Eel, Wayward Lad 5-2, Quarry Stone 10s, 2 Swallows and Captain John 12-1, Corby Air and another Duke 14-1, Lusker and Pilot Officer 20-1, Leslie Ann, Special Cargo, 25-1. On 33-1, Lawrence Rambler, Don't Touch and Midnight Love, 50-1, 100-1 bar.
So they're on their way down to the start. And very sad to hear that the former winner, Master Smudge, of this race, he won it in 79, doesn't run tomorrow in the Tote Gold Cup. But we hear that he got cast in his box and pulled muscles over his back. This horse going down very sweetly for John now, Easter Eel. Isn't he a racehorse to look at? Very easy mover through this soft ground. And what good hands John Frankham's got, just gently down on the horse's neck, just kidding him into relaxing on his way to the post. This is very important for an excitable horse, because they can expend a lot of energy before they go down. Quarry Stone is 12s from 10-1, just going up 2 points there. Quarry Stone in the stripes there. The yellow and black, just turning in to look at the fence, going over by the rails there. Another Duke is 16s from 14s, he's drifting as well. So looking at that picture now, we've got Pilot Officer in the red, Fred Rymel's representative, and then Special Cargo. I can't give him a great chance, although wouldn't he be a very popular winner here. Then Quarry Stone being patted by his rider, and that is Tommy McGiven. Very intelligent looking horse this. You can see him looking all around him. Turned out in fine style there. And the grey, sweating. You can see below his number 19, you can see the white foam coming out from there. He's very much on his toes, although he looked to be very calm. And Wayward Lad there, well, what an exciting horse. What a good hurdler he was last year, winning 6 of his 8. And Tommy Carmody keeping him there a long time to look at the fence, just setting him off gently. Well, Tommy Carmody came to our notice a few years ago when winning the 2-mile champion chase on Hilly Way, had a double that meeting, and now firmly established on the English racing scene. But this is a racehorse, doesn't matter what happens today, and the only if about him is whether his fast and accurate jumping is quite good enough for Cheltenham, because these fences don't give when you belt them. But this horse, I was very pleased to see his jumping last time out at Haydock. I thought that he'd certainly settled to the job and is maturing to it. So, as the horses go to be regirthed or have the girths checked, we have a show betting for you and the tote results from the last race.
Easter Eel still 2-1, Wayward Lad 5-2, Quarry Stone and 2 Swallows and Captain John 12-1. Corby Air remains on 14-1, Another Duke 16-1, Lusker 20-1, a Pilot Officer 25-1, a Special Cargo 28-1, Leslie Ann is 33-1 from 25-1, Lawrence Rambler 50-1, so is Don't Touch and also Midnight Love, 100-1 bar these.
9, this is Lusker. He's trained by Paddy Mullins in Ireland, ridden by Tommy Finn. Special Cargo is 33-1 from 28-1. This horse here ran a superb race last time out to split Anna Glog's Daughter and Jack of Trumps over 2.5 miles, but he was getting almost 2 stone from Anna Glog's Daughter. But he'd previously been second to the Mighty Mac, one of the best novices in Ireland. That was at Fairy House, and on that occasion he was only getting £5 from the Mighty Mac, so that was a good run. Lusker, he'll stay forever. Whether he's quite got the class of these top horses, we'll see. The runners all walking around very calm now. You can see Easter Eel out the back, just standing still. John Frankham opting to just stay there and not make him walk with the others, just in case he hots him up. 18 going through there with Star Member. And there's Corby Air coming towards us. There's Star Member now. That's representing Bob Hawker, who won the race last year with Laxon. And wouldn't that be a great double for him? Ted Waite in the saddle. And Farmer ran quite a good race in the Coral Final, so I wonder if Bob Hawker's horses are coming back into form. Captain John 10s from 12s. That's in the colours of Michael Muskos, and there he is. In fact, sorry, that's Midnight Love. The colours very similar. Captain John almost similar to that. We'll try and pick him up for you later. Number 7 there, Lawrence Rambler. 2, Captain John went round to the left, and we'll pick him up for you now. He's just gone through to the right. There he is, number 2. Now, Captain John hasn't done a lot wrong at all. He's won his last 2 races, very useful, and he's by Mont Capitan out of an Aprilan mare. And Captain John ridden by Jeff Pearce. Jeff, who has been riding for a long time now and is a very able pilot, but just seems to have disappeared from fashion for a while, but he's a very good pilot. And certainly if Captain John's up to it, so will Jeff Pearce be. Will we have a show betting for you?
Captain John 10-1, with Easter Eel 2-1 favourite, Wayward Lad 9-4, Captain John 10s, 2 Swallows and Quarry Stone 12-1, Corby Air 14-1, another Duke is 16-1, Lusker 20s on 25-1 Pilot Officer and Leslie Ann, Special Cargo 33-1, 50-1 Lawrence Rambler, Don't Touch and Midnight Love, 100-1 bar.
They're coming in, so Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Richard. And 17 fences for the 17 runners to jump this time. Easter Eel just a little bit behind the remaining 16. Lusker turns there. Told to come in again, and they're away. And coming to the first Special Cargo, one of the first to show, with Oak Lawn and Captain John over on the far side and 2 Swallows just in behind him, and they're all safely over the first. And Captain John taking him along from Special Cargo, Oak Lawn and 2 Swallows and Corby Air, and then Lawrence Rambler and Pilot Officer. Behind them come Wayward Lad and Lusker, and behind Lusker is Star Member with Don't Touch on the inside, and then Midnight Love, Easter Eel on the outer. Quarry Bank on the inner. The back marker at the moment is another Duke, and it's Captain John in the lead from Special Cargo, 2 Swallows, Oak Lawn and Corby Air and Lawrence Rambler and Pilot Officer and Wayward Lad and Lusker. Behind them Star Member, Easter Eel, one of the back markers, with Old Bean and another Duke as they run down to the second, and Captain John lands in the lead from Special Cargo. Easter Eel, one of the real back markers at that point as they come down to the water. Captain John from Special Cargo, Oak Lawn, Corby Air, and then the grey 2 Swallows and Pilot Officer, and on the inside Lawrence Rambler. Then comes Wayward Lad, Quarry Bank, Don't Touch, Lusker, Star Member, Leslie Ann over the 4th, and all safely over it, but Old Bean jumps it a little bit slowly. 16th at the moment is the favourite Easter Eel. Captain John in the lead at the 5th. Jumps it clear of Special Cargo in second. Jumped it third, Oak Lawn, then Corby Air, then 2 Swallows, then Pilot Officer, then Wayward Lad, and then Lawrence Rambler, and then Star Member. Behind Star Member is Don't Touch, and then Lusker, and then Easter Eel on the outside, and then another Duke and Midnight Love, and behind them Quarry Bank and Leslie Ann, and finally it's Old Bean. Coming to the first ditch now. Captain John lands in the lead from Special Cargo, Corby Air on the inside of Oak Lawn. Then in 5th is 2 Swallows, 6 Wayward Lad. Behind them Lawrence Rambler and Pilot Officer. Behind Pilot Officer is Star Member. Then Lusker and Easter Eel has made a little bit of ground towards the outside. Another Duke's on the inner. Old Bean's a long way behind the remainder now. Captain John in the lead from Special Cargo. Corby Air and 2 Swallows, and then Oak Lawn, and then Pilot Officer and Lawrence Rambler and Wayward Lad. Lusker towards the outside, that's the left of the picture, and right over on the far left, Easter Eel you'll see jumping in about 7th. A mistake there by Lusker, but he got away with it, and it's Captain John from Special Cargo. 2 Swallows is now 3rd, and 4 Corby Air, and 5 is Oak Lawn, and 6 Lawrence Rambler, 7 is Star Member, and 8 is Easter Eel as they come down to the next, and Old Bean has been pulled up. Pulled up and dismounted. Midnight Love hit the top of that. And now it's Captain John from Special Cargo, 2 Swallows and Corby Air together, and then Lawrence Rambler and Oak Lawn, and then Star Member, Pilot Officer, Easter Eel, Quarry Bank, Wayward Lad behind them, another Duke and Lusker, and Leslie Ann, and then Midnight Love, and finally Don't Touch, and over the 9th, Captain John lands in the lead from Special Cargo and Corby Air. Behind Corby Air is Lawrence Rambler with 2 Swallows and Wayward Lad and Quarry Bank, and behind Quarry Bank Star Member, and then Easter Eel, and then Oak Lawn. Behind Oak Lawn is Leslie Ann on the outside of Pilot Officer, and then another Duke, and then Lusker. And behind Lusker is Midnight Love, and finally Don't Touch. As they go out into the country on the final circuit, Captain John in the lead from Special Cargo in second, Corby Air third, 4 Lawrence Rambler, 5 on the outside is 2 Swallows, 6 is Wayward Lad, 7 is Pilot Officer, 8 wide of them with Quarry Bank is Easter Eel as they run down to the 10th fence. 10th of the 17 fences. Captain John from Corby Air now. Lawrence Rambler and Special Cargo close, then Wayward Lad. Easter Eel making a bit of ground on the far side, and Quarry Bank has gone there, another Duke has gone there, and 2 Swallows has gone there. 3 missing there over the water. Captain John lands in the lead from Special Cargo, Corby Air on the inside. All 3 jockeys are up all right. Lawrence Rambler is next, then Wayward Lad, then Pilot Officer, Easter Eel on the outside. Captain John, Corby Air, little between the 2. Mistake by Corby Air, mistake by Wayward Lad as well, as they race now to the last fence before the final ditch. 5 from home. Corby Air's in the lead from Captain John. Special Cargo. Easter Eel making ground towards the outside. Wayward Lad very close to them on the inner. Coming to the final ditch now in this Sun Alliance chase. And it's Corby Air in the lead from Captain John. Then Special Cargo. Then Wayward Lad. Then Lawrence Rambler. Then comes Easter Eel on the outside of Leslie Ann. And over the final ditch there. And it was Corby Air in the lead from Wayward Lad. Special Cargo in the Royal Colours on the outside, going up to be second now. Easter Eel getting a little bit closer to them with Leslie Ann as they run downhill now with only 3 fences left to jump in the Sun Alliance. And Corby Air is in the lead from Wayward Lad, who's now moved into second. In third is Special Cargo. Easter Eel still making steady progress towards the outside. Captain John trying to stay in the picture. Leslie Ann's well there too. Lawrence Rambler's not far behind the leaders, but it's Corby Air in the lead from Wayward Lad in second. Then comes Easter Eel on the outside, showing with his white face, and then Leslie Ann, and over that one it was Corby Air being pressed by Wayward Lad. Special Cargo, Leslie Ann, Easter Eel, behind them Lawrence Rambler and Captain John. Wayward Lad now very close to the lead with Leslie Ann and Corby Air, and Easter Eel breathing down their necks, and there Corby Air landed in the lead from Wayward Lad. Then on the outside Leslie Ann, then Easter Eel just in behind them with Special Cargo, and it's Leslie Ann towards the outside now from Corby Air. Easter Eel coming towards the stand side. Special Cargo very close to them as they come down to the final fence now, and it's Leslie Ann in the lead from Corby Air. Easter Eel under pressure in third place. Leslie Ann looking as though he's only got to jump in. He makes a mistake there, but gets away with it. Corby Air jumps in second. Easter Eel jumps in third, and Special Cargo 4, and racing into the closing stages in the Sun Alliance. And it's Leslie Ann now from Corby Air and Special Cargo and Easter Eel, and Leslie Ann striding up towards the line to win it from Corby Air and Special Cargo. Leslie Ann has won it. Corby Air second, Special Cargo third, and Easter Eel 4. 5 was Captain John, and 6 Lawrence Rambler behind them. Midnight Love and Wayward Lad and Oak Lawn and Pilot Officer, and they're the only finishers. And so the result of the Sun Alliance Chase, first number 8, Leslie Ann, owned by Mr. B.W. Gall, trained by David Ellsworth and ridden by Colin Brown. Second was number 3, Corby Air, owned by Mr. B.R.H. Burrow, trained by Mrs. Jenny Pittman and ridden by Brown Smart. And third, number 17, Special Cargo, owned by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, trained by Fulk Warbin and ridden by Bill Smith. Fourth was number 6, Easter Eel. That was the result. Here's how they raced into the closing stages as we review them with Richard Pittman.
And yes, as they come for home, you can see the most fancied horses are beaten. Wayward Lad back in 5th place. Easter Eel now being pushed along by John Frankham. And it's Corby Air on the rails, who's jumped and battled so well up to this point. But Leslie Ann has gone to the front now, looks assured, bar a fall, but gets a little bit close to the bottom of this fence. She pops a short one in. Colin Brown sits tight and goes away. Corby Air jumps well in second, Easter Eel in third, and Special Cargo running a tremendous race, going on to be third. Well, what great compensation for David Ellsworth, who had the disappointment with Halin in the champion hurdle, and what a great pointer to Little Owl's chances, because Little Owl beat this one at this meeting last time they met. And remember, this one fell last time out at Ascot, but made no such mistake today, and a convincing winner in the end.
Yes, as Richard says, an encouraging point of this to Little Owl in the Tote Cheltenham Gold Cup tomorrow. This 25-to-1 winner, who was 6 lengths runner-up in the Tote Double Chase here in January. The second 25-to-1 winner at the afternoon we're looking at now, this 7-year-old mare by Menelek. Such a prolific sire of jumping winners out of Royal Rally by Royal Record. Trained by David Ellsworth, who will be represented in the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle tomorrow by Fledge. Only the second horse to represent him in 4-year-old hurdling's richest prize, the previous having been last year's winner Halin. The distances here, as we see the back of the favorite Easter Eel, 8 lengths and 1.5 lengths. Really gutsy performance by this mare. Only her second success of the season on her 8th outing. That's Lawrence Rambler being preceded by Midnight Love and Don't Touch. And this is Captain John, who made so much of the running until he blundered at the fence before the final ditch. Lost a lot of impetus. And so, here now the starting prices on the Sun Alliance Chase and a check on the results on the second day of the Cheltenham National Hunt Festival so far.